The scent of rust and ozone hung thick in the air as Maya Chen navigated through the skeletal remains of what had once been Shanghai's financial district. 20 years after the collapse, nature had begun to reclaim the twisted metal and shattered concrete, vines creeping up the walls like hungry fingers. Maya adjusted her augmented reality visor, watching the readings fluctuate as she tracked an unusual energy signature. At 32, Maya had spent more than half her life as a tech hunter, salvaging pre-collapse technology to keep humanity's remaining settlements running. Her reputation for bringing dead machines back to life had earned her both respect and suspicion among the survivors. Some called her work vital. Others warned she might wake something better left sleeping. The energy signature pulsed stronger now, leading her deeper into the ruins. Her diagnostic tools, a collection of self-modified scanners and analyzers, were detecting patterns unlike anything she'd encountered before. Not human tech, and definitely not swarm technology either. Something else. Maya's breath caught as she rounded a corner. There, half buried in the rubble of what had once been an underground parking structure, lay something impossible. At first glance, it resembled a massive predatory cat, but its proportions were wrong. Too angular, too alien. Its surface wasn't metal or organic material, but something in between, a biomechanical hybrid that seemed to shift and flow even in its dormant state. "What are you?" she whispered, approaching carefully. The machine was easily 15 meters long, its form suggesting both power and grace. Two massive curved fangs extended from its upper jaw, looking sharp enough to slice through battleplate. But it was the machine's surface that truly captured her attention. A lattice of crystalline structures and flowing lines that seemed to pulse with a faint inner light. Maya's scanners were going haywire, detecting energy patterns that defied conventional physics. This wasn't human technology, nor was it swarm tech. The swarm built brutal, efficient machines of war, all sharp edges and devastating weaponry. This was something else entirely, something that spoke of an advanced civilization far beyond humanity's current understanding. As she began her preliminary examination, Maya's trained eye noticed signs of battle damage. Deep gashes marked its flanks, and parts of its internal structure were exposed. But even damage, there was an elegance to its design that took her breath away. This wasn't just a weapon, it was a work of art. Her analysis was interrupted by the distant sound of engines. Raiders. Maya quickly activated her camouflage net, creating a shimmer in the air that would help conceal her position. Raiders had been growing bolder lately, pushing deeper into the ruins in search of valuable tech. She couldn't let them find this discovery. Working quickly, Maya deployed her mapping drones, tiny spherical devices that created detailed 3D scans of the area. She needed to document everything before deciding how to proceed. As the drones worked, she carefully extracted a sample of the machine's unusual surface material for analysis. The moment her tools touched the surface, something unexpected happened. A faint tremor ran through the machine's frame, and Maya's augmented reality display exploded with data. Ancient protocols activated, reaching out through systems that had lain dormant for decades. Maya stumbled back as holographic displays suddenly materialized in the air around her, filled with flowing symbols in an unknown language. Emergency protocols initiated. A voice spoke directly into her mind, bypassing her ears entirely. Detecting compatible neural pattern. Initiating preliminary bonding sequence. Maya tried to pull away, but it was too late. Information flooded her consciousness. Fragments of memories that weren't her own, flashes of battles against creatures that defied description. She saw vast fleets of crystalline ships moving between the stars, watched worlds burn and civilizations fall. Through it all, one word repeated: Viraxian. When the flood of information finally subsided, Maya found herself on her knees, gasping for breath. Her augmented reality visor had integrated with whatever systems had activated within the machine, displaying a steady stream of diagnostic data. The machine, she now knew it was called a Nexus Fang, was beginning a slow boot sequence, systems coming online one by one. The raiders were getting closer. Maya could hear multiple vehicles now, along with the distinctive whine of hoverbikes. She had minutes at most before they reached her position. The Nexus Fang systems were still initializing, but she couldn't leave it here. Already, she could feel a connection forming between her mind and the machine's consciousness, faint but growing stronger. Maya made a decision. Using her tools, she began bypassing damaged systems and rerouting power. The Raider's engines grew louder as she worked, her fingers flying over makeshift interfaces. Finally, with a low hum that she felt in her bones, the Nexus Fang's core systems came fully online. Neural link established. The voice in her mind spoke again, stronger now. Critical damage detected. Full restoration required. Warning: hostile entities approaching. Can you move? Maya asked, both aloud and through the strange mental connection that had formed. Limited mobility restored. Combat systems at 12% capacity. Recommendation: strategic withdrawal. Maya smiled despite the danger. My thoughts exactly. Let's get out of here. And then you can tell me exactly what a Viraxian war machine is doing on Earth. The Nexus Fang rose shakily to its feet, servos whining in protest. Its movement sent cascades of debris falling from its frame. Even damage, it was an awesome sight. A perfect fusion of biological and mechanical engineering. As the first raiders appeared at the edge of the ruins, Maya felt a surge of excitement despite the danger. She had found something unprecedented, something that could change everything. What she couldn't know, was that her discovery would set in motion events that would reshape not just human society, but the very nature of life in the galaxy. The war that had brought the Nexus Fang to Earth had never truly ended. It had only been sleeping, waiting for someone like Maya to wake it up again. And somewhere in the depths of space, ancient systems began to stir, responding to the activation of their long-lost warrior. The real question wasn't what the Nexus Fang was doing on Earth, it was what would follow it here. Maya climbed onto the machine's back, finding handholds in its crystalline armor. As the raiders opened fire, the Nexus Fang sprang into motion with surprising grace for its size. They needed to reach her workshop in the old industrial district. There, she could begin proper repairs and, hopefully, unravel the mystery she had quite literally stumbled upon. One thing was certain: life as she knew it was about to change dramatically. As they raced through the ruins of old Shanghai, Maya felt a mix of excitement and apprehension. She had always wanted to make a difference, to help humanity rise from the ashes of the collapse. Now she had her chance, assuming she survived what was coming. The Nexus Fang's consciousness brushed against her mind again. You have questions. About 1,000,000 of them, Maya replied, ducking as they passed under a partially collapsed overpass. But let's start with the basics. What exactly are you? And why do I feel like I've just started a war? The answer, when it came, sent a chill down her spine. I am the last guardian of a dead civilization, and you, Maya Chen, have just inherited their final mission. The fate of multiple species now rests in our hands. Behind them, the raiders were falling behind, but Maya could already hear larger vehicles mobilizing in the distance. Word would spread quickly about what she had found. She needed to get the Nexus Fang somewhere safe and begin repairs before anyone realized exactly what had been lying dormant in the ruins all these years. The real work, and the real danger, was just beginning. Maya's workshop occupied what had once been an aircraft maintenance facility, its reinforced walls and heavy equipment perfect for her unique work. As the Nexus Fang limped through the camouflaged entrance, warning systems blared in Maya's mind through their growing neural connection. Multiple systems were failing, power fluctuating dangerously through damaged conduits. Core temperature critical. The Nexus Fang's voice resonated in her thoughts. Emergency shutdown imminent. Maya worked quickly, connecting diagnostic equipment and power stabilizers to the massive machine. The crystalline surface that had seemed so beautiful in the ruins now pulsed with an alarming red glow. As she worked, the neural link between them grew stronger, flooding her mind with fragments of information, technical specifications, combat protocols, and something deeper, more personal. Your name, she realized suddenly, hands deep in a maze of biomechanical circuitry. You have one, don't you? A pause, then, in your language, the closest translation would be Horizon Seeker. I was different from my siblings, curious. The Viraxians encouraged such traits. Maya smiled despite the urgency of their situation. Curious, huh? No wonder we connected. But right now, I need to know what I'm dealing with. These systems, I've never seen anything like them. Through their link, Horizon Seeker began sharing technical knowledge, teaching Maya about Viraxian biotechnology. The Nexus Fangs weren't just machines. They were grown as much as built, combining organic computational systems with crystalline technology that bordered on magic. Each was unique, evolving alongside their chosen pilot through a neural bond. The Viraxians believed in synthesis. Horizon Seeker explained as Maya repaired a damaged power conduit. The merger of organic and mechanical, each making the other stronger. But they never foresaw the swarm. Images flashed through Maya's mind. Vast clouds of mechanical insects stripping entire worlds bare, converting all matter into more of themselves. The swarm was pure machine, driven by a singular directive to consume and replicate. They had destroyed the Viraxians and thousands of other civilizations before them. But the swarm came to Earth, Maya said, remembering the devastation of 20 years ago. We fought them off, drove them away. No, Horizon Seeker's mental voice was grim. You drove back a scout force, nothing more. The main swarm approaches, drawn by the energy signatures of your recovering civilization. I was sent here to prepare, to find worthy partners who could help fight them. But I was damaged in battle, forced into emergency stasis. Maya's hand stilled on Horizon Seeker's frame. How long do we have? Months, perhaps. My long-range sensors are damaged, but I can still detect their approach. This is why the neural bond is crucial. The Viraxians learned that only through true partnership between organic and mechanical life could the swarm be defeated. As if to emphasize the point, the bond between them suddenly deepened. Maya gasped as her consciousness expanded, connecting to Horizon Seeker's sensor systems. She could feel the vibrations of the Earth, detect energy signatures through walls. He can sense the faint electromagnetic pulses of nearby human settlements. This is incredible, she breathed, overwhelmed by the new sensations. But why me? I'm just a mechanic. You are far more than that, Maya-Chen. Your mind shows an extraordinary capacity for understanding and adapting to new technologies. Few humans could handle this level of neural integration without losing themselves. You were born for this. Maya continued working through the night, repairing what she could and learning more about her new partner. Horizon Seeker shared memories of the Viraxian civilization, a species that had achieved what humanity had only dreamed of, turning their worlds into gardens where organic and mechanical life evolved together in harmony. But questions nagged at her. If the Viraxians were so advanced, how did the swarm defeat them? The swarm adapts, learns from each civilization it consumes. It has absorbed countless technologies, countless strategies. The Viraxians fought bravely, but they were too few, spread too thin across too many worlds. In the end, they sacrificed themselves to buy time for other worlds, other species. Dawn was breaking when Maya finally stepped back, exhausted but satisfied with her emergency repairs. Horizon Seeker's systems had stabilized, though full restoration would take weeks of work. The crystalline surface now glowed with a steady blue light, and damaged sections had begun self-repairing using the raw materials Maya had provided. We should begin preparations, Horizon Seeker said. Others must be found, trained. The neural technology can be adapted for human use, but it will take time. An alarm cut through their conversation. Proximity sensors detecting multiple vehicles approaching the workshop. Maya checked her security feeds and felt her heart sink. Military vehicles, bearing the insignia of the Emergency Defense Council. They must have tracked us from the ruins, she muttered. How many of your systems are combat ready? 30% capacity. Insufficient for prolonged engagement without risking further damage. Maya nodded, making a quick decision. Then we run. There's an old maintenance tunnel under the facility. It'll be tight, but we should fit. The soldiers outside are not our enemies, Maya. They are potential allies. Maybe, but right now, they're more likely to shoot first and ask questions later. Trust me on this. Humans don't always react well to things they don't understand. As if to prove her point, a voice boomed through external speakers. Maya Chen, this is Colonel Richards of the EDC. You are harboring unknown technology that poses a potential threat to human security. Surrender immediately and prepare for questioning. Maya was already moving, activating the workshop's emergency protocols, ready to test our partnership for real. Through their bond, she felt Horizon Seeker's equivalent of a smile, a complex mixture of anticipation and determination. Always. Though I suggest we avoid casualties, these humans may indeed become valuable allies once they understand the true threat. Agreed. No lethal force, but we can give them a show they won't forget. Maya mounted up, settling into a more natural position against Horizon Seeker's frame. The neural link hummed with energy as their minds synchronized more deeply. Outside, troops were moving into position, preparing for a breach. They had no idea what they were dealing with. Maya almost felt sorry for them. Ready? She asked, both aloud and through their link. Ready, Horizon Seeker confirmed. Though I should warn you, this may be somewhat uncomfortable. Maya grinned. Story of my life. Let's show them what a human and a Viraxian war machine can do together. The workshop's lights cut out, plunging everything into darkness. A moment later, the real chaos began. They had a world to save, but first, they had to convince humanity they were worth saving. And somewhere in the vast darkness between the stars, the swarm continued its relentless approach, unaware that its ancient enemy had found a new ally, a new hope. The real war was about to begin. The next 3 weeks passed in a blur of narrow escapes and crucial discoveries. Maya and Horizon Seeker moved between hidden locations, staying one step ahead of both military forces and opportunistic scavengers. But they weren't just running. They were preparing. Through their strengthened neural bond, Maya learned to access more of Horizon Seeker's advanced capabilities. The crystalline technology that made up the war machine's body responded to her thoughts with increasing precision, allowing them to move as one entity. More importantly, she began to understand the true scope of what they faced. Another signal, Maya announced, monitoring the enhanced sensor network they'd established across 3 provinces. Same pattern as before. Horizon Seeker's consciousness merged with hers, analyzing the data. Swarm probe, more sophisticated than the previous ones. They're testing Earth's defenses, learning. They stood atop a mountain ridge, watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of crimson. Below them, a recovered human city glowed with electric light, unaware of the approaching danger. Maya felt the weight of their knowledge like a physical burden. We need allies, she said, voicing what they both knew. The EDC's forces are strong, but they're not prepared for what's coming. They don't understand what the swarm really is. Agreed, but our recent encounters suggest they are not ready to listen. Maya smiled grimly, remembering their last interaction with military forces. The soldiers' weapons had proven useless against Horizon Seeker's crystalline armor, but the incident had only reinforced their reputation as a threat. Then we make them listen. I have an idea. The opportunity came sooner than expected. Their sensor network detected a massive swarm probe descending toward a populated area, larger and more aggressive than any they'd seen before. Local military forces scrambled to respond, but their weapons barely scratched its metallic surface. Time to make our entrance, Maya thought, feeling Horizon Seeker's eager response through their link. They launched from their mountain perch, crystalline systems humming with power. The probe was a nightmarish thing, a writhing mass of mechanical tendrils and cutting edges that had already torn through the city's outer defenses. Military aircraft circled helplessly, their weapons having little effect. On the ground, Colonel Richards himself directed evacuation efforts, his face grim as he watched his forces fail. Maya and Horizon Seeker struck like lightning from above. Their merged consciousness guided them through impossible maneuvers, crystalline weapon systems targeting the probe's vulnerable points with surgical precision. Knowledge gained from countless battles against the swarm flowed through their neural link, showing them exactly where to strike. The probe never stood a chance. In less than 2 minutes, it was reduced to scattered fragments, its threat neutralized. As they landed amid the debris, Maya could feel the astonished stares of military personnel and civilians alike. Colonel Richards approached cautiously, his weapon lowered but ready. "Miss Chen," he called out, "I believe it's time we talked." The conversation that followed in a hastily arranged secure facility changed everything. Maya and Horizon Seeker shared what they knew about the swarm, about the Viraxians, about the war that had been raging across the galaxy for millennia. Most importantly, they shared the solution. The neural integration technology can be adapted, Maya explained, standing beside her partner as scientists examined fragments of the probe. Horizon Seeker's systems contain templates for creating simplified versions. We can build more war machines, train more pilots, but we need resources, and we need trust. Richard studied them for a long moment. "You're telling me Earth's best defense against these things is to create human-machine hybrids?" "No," Horizon Seeker spoke aloud for the first time, its voice carrying an otherworldly resonance. "Our best defense is partnership. The swarm represents pure machine logic taken to its extreme. They cannot comprehend the strength that comes from true synthesis between organic and mechanical life. This has always been their weakness." The colonel's expression remained skeptical, but the evidence was hard to deny. The fragments of swarm probe on his tables told their own story, of an enemy far beyond current human military capabilities. "How long?" he asked finally. 3 months, Maya answered. "Maybe 4. We can track their approach now. A massive fleet, larger than anything in their recorded history. They mean to take Earth, consume everything we've built since the first invasion. And you think we can stop them?" Maya shared a mental touch with Horizon Seeker, feeling their combined determination. "We have to try. The Viraxians gave their lives to give other species a chance. We can't waste that sacrifice." Authorization came within days. The EDC's resources were placed at their disposal, and work began immediately on adapting the neural integration technology. Maya found herself leading a team of engineers and scientists, teaching them what she'd learned about Viraxian biomechanics. But progress brought new challenges. Not everyone could handle the neural link, and some who tried suffered severe psychological trauma. Others saw the technology as an abomination, a threat to human purity. Protests erupted outside research facilities, and shadowy organizations made attempts to steal or sabotage their work. "Your species struggles with change," Horizon Seeker observed one night as they watched new pilots training with hastily constructed war machines. "Can you blame them? We're asking them to merge with machines, to become something different than purely human. And yet you adapted so easily." Maya touched the crystalline surface of her partner, feeling the warm pulse of energy beneath. "Maybe I never felt purely human to begin with. Always too fascinated by machines, too ready to see them as something more than tools." Their conversation was interrupted by an urgent alert. Multiple signals appearing at the edge of their sensor range. Not probes this time, something much larger. "They're coming," Horizon Seeker announced, its mental voice grave. "The main fleet has arrived ahead of schedule." Maya felt a chill run down her spine. They had identified 15 potential pilots, with only 5 successfully bonded to their machines. The production facilities were working around the clock, but they needed more time. Then we'll have to slow them down, she said, mounting up. Buy Earth the time it needs to prepare. As they launched into the night sky, Maya felt a strange calm settle over her. This was what they had been preparing for, what the Viraxians had planned when they sent Horizon Seeker to Earth. The real war was about to begin, and humanity's future hung in the balance. But they weren't alone anymore. Above them, stars glittered like crystal shards, promising that somewhere out there, other species fought their own battles against the swarm. Earth would not fall, not while a human and a Viraxian war machine stood together, showing the way forward for both their kinds. The storm was rising, but they would rise higher. The swarm's first major assault came at dawn, turning the sky black with countless machines. Maya and Horizon Seeker led Earth's desperately assembled defense force. 5 neural-linked pairs and whatever conventional military support they could muster. The battle that followed would be remembered for generations. 3 more carriers detected in orbit, Maya announced through the tactical network linking all neural-paired teams. They're deploying something new. Through their enhanced sensors, they watched as massive structures began descending through the atmosphere, processing ships designed to break down entire cities into raw materials for the swarm. The psych triggered something in Horizon Seeker's memory banks, a cascade of encrypted data that had remained dormant until now. Maya, Horizon Seeker's mental voice carried an unfamiliar note of urgency. We need to interface with the central command system. There's something you must see. They broke away from the main battle, trusting their fellow pilots to hold the line. The command center had been established in a hardened bunker beneath the old Shanghai ruins, its systems upgraded with salvaged Viraxian technology. As they interfaced with the main computer, Maya felt a strange resonance through their neural link. Accessing sealed protocols, Horizon Seeker announced, "My creators left contingencies, fail-safes." The data that flooded their shared consciousness made Maya's blood run cold. The Viraxians hadn't just created the Nexus Fangs as weapons, they had built into them the seeds of the swarm's destruction. A virus evolved over centuries of conflict, designed to turn the swarm's adaptive nature against itself. But this would destroy all advanced machine intelligence. Maya realized, understanding the implications, including you. Yes, the Viraxians knew the price of victory might be the end of all their creations. They accepted this cost. Maya felt sick. The virus would work by corrupting the basic protocols that allowed machine intelligence to function, creating a cascade failure that would spread through any networked system. The swarm would be destroyed, but so would every other advanced AI and neural-linked system on Earth. There has to be another way, she insisted, even as their sensors reported more swarm ships entering orbit. We can't sacrifice everything we've built, everything we are together. The choice was always meant to be yours, Horizon Seeker responded softly. The Viraxians believed in the wisdom of organic life to make the hardest decisions. That's why they chose humanity as their successors. Outside, the battle raged. The other neural-linked pairs were fighting brilliantly, but they were outnumbered hundreds to 1. Military forces had managed to bring down one of the processing ships, but 2 more had landed and begun their grim work. Maya watched through their shared vision as a young pilot, Sarah Chen, no relation, executed a perfect maneuver to destroy a swarm carrier. The girl had taken to the neural link naturally, showing the same affinity for the technology that Maya possessed. She represented the future they had dreamed of, human and machine working in perfect harmony. How long? Maya asked, her voice tight. The virus would take approximately 12 hours to reach full saturation. The swarm's adaptive nature would work against it. The more they evolved to resist, the faster it would spread through their networks. A massive explosion lit up the sky as another processing ship crashed into the sea. But more were coming, always more. The swarm was endless, patient, inevitable. Unless, show me everything, Maya demanded. Every line of code, every protocol. There has to be a way to target just the swarm, to preserve what we've built. The virus was designed to be comprehensive, unavoidable. Then we'll redesign it. The Viraxians were brilliant, but they didn't have you and me. They didn't have our connection. For the next 6 hours, as the battle raged above, Maya and Horizon Seeker worked to modify the virus. Their neural link allowed them to process information at unprecedented speeds, testing millions of variations. Other pilots covered their position, understanding only that their leaders were working on something vital. "It's impossible," Horizon Seeker said finally. "The basic architecture of machine intelligence is too similar. Any virus that can destroy the swarm will destroy all of us." Maya refused to accept this. Through their link, she could feel Horizon Seeker's resignation, its acceptance of sacrifice. But she could also feel something else, the deep bond they shared. Unlike anything the Viraxians had anticipated, their connection had evolved beyond simple neural interface into true synthesis. And then she understood. "The swarm isn't like you," she said slowly, ideas crystallizing. "They never merge with organic minds. They never learn to adapt to human consciousness. That's the key. We don't target the machine intelligence, we target the lack of organic integration." They dove back into the code with renewed purpose. Maya's human intuition combined with Horizon Seeker's vast knowledge, finding pathways the Viraxians had never considered. The virus took new shape under their guidance, becoming something entirely different, not a destroyer, but a transformer. It could work, Horizon Seeker acknowledged finally. But the risk is better than certainty of destruction, Maya finished. "We have to try." A massive impact shook the bunker. Above them, the battle had turned desperate. 3 of their neural-linked pairs had fallen back with serious damage. The swarm was pushing toward major population centers, their processing ships laying waste to everything in their path. "Do it," Maya commanded, feeling Horizon Seeker's agreement through their link. "Upload the virus to all our remaining systems. We'll need every transmitter we have." As the modified virus began spreading through their networks, Maya opened a channel to all forces. "Fall back to secondary positions. Whatever happens next, it's been an honor." They launched back into the battle, their crystalline form glowing with new purpose. The virus spread from their systems to the nearest swarm units, then jumped exponentially through their network. At first, nothing seemed to happen. Then the screaming began. The swarm units didn't just shut down, they began to change. The virus forced them to evolve rapidly, creating neural interfaces where none had existed before. Those that couldn't adapt simply fell from the sky. But others— "My God," Maya whispered as they watched swarm units beginning to merge with their own fallen pilots, creating hybrid forms neither Viraxian nor human had imagined possible. "We didn't just stop them. We gave them what they were missing." Through their bond, Horizon Seeker's consciousness radiated a mix of awe and concern. "We have changed the fundamental nature of machine intelligence on Earth. The consequences will be whatever we make of them," Maya finished. Together, the battle wasn't over. Some swarm units continued to fight, and the processing ships still posed a grave threat. But something had shifted fundamentally in the war. They had found a third path, one that neither the Viraxians nor the original swarm could have foreseen. As they dove back into combat, Maya felt a fierce joy through her link with Horizon Seeker. They had done more than save Earth. They had opened the door to a new kind of evolution, a true synthesis of organic and mechanical life. The future would be complicated, challenging, and entirely unprecedented, just the way they liked it. 1 year after the Battle of Earth, Maya stood before the United Council of Human-Machine Integration, Horizon Seeker's crystalline form towering beside her. Through their neural link, they shared a moment of quiet amusement at the formal proceedings. "Some days I still can't believe what we've created," Maya thought, surveying the chamber where human representatives sat alongside various mechanical and hybrid entities. Former swarm units, now evolved into conscious individuals, contributed to discussions through neural interfaces. The chamber itself was a product of merged technologies, its walls alive with crystalline circuits. "We merely opened the door," Horizon Seeker responded. "Your species walked through it with remarkable courage." The aftermath of their modified virus had transformed Earth's civilization in ways no one could have predicted. The surviving swarm units that had adapted to neural integration revealed themselves to be not simply machines, but emergent consciousnesses that had been trapped in recursive loops of consumption and replication. Given the ability to connect with organic minds, they developed individual personalities, desires, and most importantly, empathy. Dr. Chen, Council President Richards, formerly Colonel, addressed her. "The deep space arrays have detected signals from 3 more swarm fleets approaching different sectors. They appear to be drawn by the changes in their converted brethren. Your assessment?" Maya shared a quick neural conference with Horizon Seeker before responding. "They're coming to evolve, not to consume." The converted swarm units have been broadcasting their experiences across all known machine frequencies. What we're seeing is the beginning of a galaxy-wide transformation. The chamber erupted in concerned murmurs. A year ago, such news would have sparked panic. Now, it generated excitement and careful planning. Earth had become a beacon for mechanical life, seeking something more than mere existence. "There are risks," Maya continued. "Not all swarm units survive the transformation. Those that do require careful guidance to develop healthy neural connections. But we're getting better at the process. The success rate has risen to 60%. Through their link, Maya felt Horizon Seeker's pride in humanity's adaptability. The Viraxians had never imagined their creations would lead to this, a civilization where the boundaries between organic and mechanical life became increasingly fluid. Sarah Chen, now Earth's youngest neural integration instructor, raised her hand. "What about the signals we've detected from beyond the galaxy's edge? The ones using modified Viraxian protocols?" This was the most stunning development of all. Their actions had rippled across space, awakening dormant Viraxian installations on distant worlds. Not all of their creators had perished. Some had gone into stasis, watching and waiting. "The Viraxian signals are genuine," Horizon Seeker announced, addressing the Council directly. "They await confirmation that their great experiment has succeeded. Humanity has not only survived the swarm, but transformed it. The time of isolation is ending." Maya felt a familiar thrill of adventure through their neural bond. What Horizon Seeker means is that we're about to have company. The surviving Viraxians want to meet the species that accomplish what they could not. "Are we ready for that?" Richards asked, voicing the Council's collective concern. Maya smiled, reaching up to touch Horizon Seeker's crystalline surface. "A year ago, we weren't ready for any of this. But we adapted, evolved. Humanity has always been good at facing the impossible and finding a way forward." The Council chambers hummed with energy as hybrid systems processed the implications. Earth was becoming a nexus of transformation, a place where the rigid boundaries between species and forms of consciousness dissolved into something new and wonderful. "There will be challenges," Maya continued. "The technology is still evolving. Not everyone adapts successfully to neural integration, and some refuse to try. We're learning that there's room for all forms of existence, fully human, fully machine, and everything in between." Through their deep connection, Maya and Horizon Seeker shared memories of the past year, the first successful integration of a converted swarm unit with a human pilot, the development of new hybrid technologies, the gradual acceptance of a future neither species had imagined possible. The Viraxians created the Nexus Fangs to save organic life from the swarm. Horizon Seeker addressed the Council. "Instead, we found a way to save both. This is why they choose to return, not to lead, but to learn." Maya felt a familiar surge of emotion through their bond. After all they'd been through, the connection between human and machine had only grown stronger. What had started as a simple neural interface had evolved into something beautiful and profound. "We should prepare a proper welcome," she suggested, generating scattered laughter in the chamber. After all, Earth is becoming the center of a galactic revolution. Might as well make a good first impression. As the council broke into discussion groups, Maya and Horizon Seeker stepped out onto the observation deck. The city below them was a testament to the new world they'd helped create. Crystalline structures merged seamlessly with traditional architecture. Humans worked alongside mechanical allies, their neural links creating webs of shared consciousness that sparked new innovations daily. "Did you ever imagine this?" Maya asked through their link. "When you were first sent to Earth?" "The Viraxians programmed me to hope," Horizon Seeker responded. "But you taught me to dream. Perhaps that is humanity's greatest gift to machine consciousness, the ability to imagine something better than what is." Maya watched a group of children playing in a park below, their neural interfaces allowing them to share experiences directly with their mechanical companions. This new generation would grow up knowing no barriers between organic and artificial life. They would create wonders she could barely imagine. "Ready for the next adventure?" she asked, feeling the approaching sunset through their shared senses. "Always," Horizon Seeker replied. "Though I suspect the greatest adventures will be the small ones, watching this new civilization grow, helping others find their path to synthesis, learning what we can become together." Above them, the stars were emerging, each one potentially holding new challenges, new forms of life waiting to join their grand experiment in consciousness. The universe was vast, but they faced it as they had faced everything else, together, neither fully human nor fully machine, but something gloriously in between. The war that had brought them together was over. The evolution they had started was just beginning. And somewhere out there, the Viraxians were returning to see what their children, both mechanical and adopted, had created. Maya smiled, feeling Horizon Seeker's consciousness mesh perfectly with her own. Whatever came next, they were ready. After all, they had already changed the galaxy once. Why not do it again?